We are getting close to the finish line in high school football, and we'll be handing out the Player of the Year award in early January. The 10 players selected on the Player of the Year watch list are all about winning. They've gone a combined 107-4 in 2019. It's still up for grabs because leading your team to a state title could go a long way, but right now the clear leader is modern day's 5-star gunslinger Bryce Young. The 2020 Alabama commit has thrown for over 3,600 yards and 46 TDs while completing nearly 75% of his passes. He also has another 300+ yards on the ground to go with 10 more scores. And the most impressive stat for Young and the number one team in the country is 11-0 because they've played against one of the toughest schedules in high school football. Young isn't the only dude from the Trinity League to crack the list. St. John Bosco's 5-star quarterback DJ Uiagalelei is in the mix. The 2020 Clemson commit has thrown for nearly 3,200 yards and has 35 touchdown passes compared to only 2 interceptions. The future Tiger also has another 300+ yards on the ground to go with 7 more scores, and if the Braves can get by number 25 Corona Centennial and potentially number 1 Mater Dei and number 10 De La Salle to win the CIF Open Division state title, he will have a chance to surpass Young to take home the award. Those two quarterbacks ball for the top 2 ranked teams in the country, and the next guy is the starting QB for the number 3 team, Quinton Jackson. The 2020 Texas commit has led Duncanville to an 11-0 record in 2019, and this team is hungry after losing on a Hail Mary in last year's 6A Division I state championship. There's a good chance they make it back to the ship in 2019, and Jaxon has them in position to win it all this time around. JQ is one of 2 players from the Lone Star State on the watch list. Rockwall's 4-star playmaker Jaxon Smith-Njigba is on here also, and the 2020 Ohio State commit is putting up video game type of numbers. He has 70 grabs for nearly 1,600 yards and 25 touchdowns, averaging over 22 yards per reception. They play Allen in the second round of the 6A Division I bracket later tonight, and if he balls out against the Eagles, his stock will rise even more. The only guy on the defensive side of the rock to make the list was St. Thomas Aquinas' 4-star linebacker / defensive end Erik Wingo. The 2020 Florida commit has been an absolute nightmare for opposing offenses, and he's going to be the next big-time defensive player to come from the Florida Power, joining the likes of Joey Bosa, Nick Bosa, and Geno Atkins. He wasn't the only player from the Sunshine State to make an appearance in the same 7A postseason bracket. Lakeland's 5-star running back DeMarcus Bowman has been balling during his senior campaign and has them in position to repeat as state champs. The 2020 Clemson commit has rushed for 1,500+ yards and 23 touchdowns while sitting the majority of second halves because of lopsided wins. A couple other running backs are featured too, and we got to start with arguably the best player to ever come from Arizona, Salpointe Catholic's 5-star Bijan Robinson. He became the first guy in state history to rush for 2,000+ yards in 3 different seasons, and so far this year he has 2,116 yards rushing and 37 touchdowns while averaging 19.6 yards per carry. They got number 17 Chandler next in the Open Division semifinals, and if he puts on a show, the 2020 Texas commit will add to his already stacked resume. St. Francis Academy's Blake Gorham is the 3rd and final running back featured, and the future Michigan Wolverine put on a show this year, and especially against the best competition. In their loss against number 1 Mater Dei, he had over 200 total yards, and he balled out against IMG Academy earlier this season. There's also a good chance we see him one more time this year if the DMV Power plays in the Geico Champs Bowl Series in December. Half of the field are quarterbacks, and the final 2 on the list include St. Louis's Jaden Delore and Corona Del Mar's Ethan Garbers. Delore is the next big-time QB to come from St. Louis High School, joining dudes like Marcus Mariota, Tua Tagovailoa, and Chevin Cordero. He has over 3,000 yards passing and 26 touchdowns while leading the Crusaders to a spot at number 6 in the top 25. Garbers is the 3rd quarterback from Southern California featured, and he's led Corona Del Mar to its best season since 2013 and is currently 8th in the country with 3,997 yards passing, and his 58 touchdown passes are good for 2nd best. And he could potentially have 4 more games to add to his stats, but they got to get by Miller Moss and Almany first in the CIF Southern Section Division III semifinals later on tonight.